Buenas, morning, folks. Hello, long time no see. Um, Slightly battling the wind yet again. We've had some very, very poor weather here in Andalusia. I know that the UK has been pretty grim too. Jetstream has changed its course, friends. That is really, really not good. That is really, really not good. Um, let's hope it's a blip, but that's the way global warming, the climate crisis works, and we may have seen our weather change for the worse forever. Um, Secondly, I should say, big apologies. It's been quite a while since I did this, at least before Christmas, isn't it? I'll record it in the notes, obviously. No particular excuse. Slightly kind of weird, minimal Christmas, which is what I expected. Still wasn't amazing, and didn't do too much. And with the weather, it's been really kind of quite a lot of kind of being hunkered down. Could I have been making better use of that time? Probably yes. Could I have been doing more reading? Absolutely. Cheers, by the way. I don't mean cheers. I mean, thank you, Chris, for my morning coffee mug. Still doing great service here. But I have had a recent burst of energy, feeling a little bit kind of more plugged into things. Definitely things on my kind of self-improvement journey that I've let. I seem to be that kind of person, right? I seem to be cycles of activity and inactivity, and maybe at the ripe old age of 64, I should know better about myself. But I don't. There are more positive things I could be doing with my time. But I have some books to review, and I'm going to do 3 today, which in a way is a little bit silly, but fine. It means that I can attack 3 more. I'm going to try and do 3 a week, right, with some energy and some enthusiasm. And so I'm doing the 3 reviews in one continuous session now, and I'll edit the tape down to 3, and so there'll be 3 short videos, right? So, without further ado, all very strong. These reviews. This is my. I bought this. Going to say 2-3 years ago. Got about a third of the way through. For no particular reason. Stopped reading it. Absolutely excellent book. Really, really, really interesting. I think a novelist who turned his hand to a reportage here. History book. Very, very interesting. Told me lots of things I didn't know, genuinely. I knew that there was, well, what does everyone know? We have some vague idea of the Panzer Chocolata, right? And the idea of the Pervitin. And I think there was some idea of it might have been a contributing factor to France 1940, but I didn't realise it was used all the way through. I didn't realise that they were trying out particularly nasty versions of drugs, including edging into psychedelic drugs, which the CIA later find very useful to kick off MK Ultra, and that was a pervasive all the way through. Pervasive Pervitin, no pun intended, right? Absolutely terrifying, shocking stuff. No care at all about the troops and the side effects. Side effects were known from the very beginning, more or less. Could it explain some of the frenzied behaviour? To some extent, I don't think it was particularly a factor in the Holocaust, but it certainly was in military operations. Pilots, submarine crews, all kinds of guys were into it. But the heart of the book is really patient AH, right? Adolf, and how incredibly medicated he was from. I think he did have a thing about being fit and healthy, if not fit, then healthy. He was very careful about his diet and what have you early on. But as the war turned against them, as it were, he just got worse and worse and became completely enslaved to the medication. And again, that's a factor in the history and the biography that needs to be addressed and needs to be included and not just dismissed. It wasn't just his psychopathy or his psychosis. He was chemically altering certainly the last 3 years of the war, maybe the last 4. Okay, really interesting. Also, stuff came up about the. I'm not too surprised about the horrendous casualness with which experimentation was carried out on concentration camp inmates, and the Counterfeiters, which is an amazing movie and doesn't seem to be on any streamer. So I'm going to just have to buy it on disc, and I don't have any problem doing that. Amazing movie, really, really great movie. And there's a reference in there because they're at Sachsenhausen to the shoe testing squad, and you think it's some kind of, you're not quite sure, some kind of horribly grim joke. It isn't. There genuinely was a shoe testing squad, and at one time they gave them some speed to see what the effects would be, and the idea was that they tested out various types of footwear intended for the German army on it was specially designed circular track with all the varieties of road surface they might encounter, and the idea was that they pushed these poor guys through to see how many kilometers could be achieved with different kinds of substances. I think rubber got to 1,200 kilometers, and I think something else, maybe 1,800. Anyway, point is that that was done to death, daily, scores of deaths daily in this detail. Absolutely horrendous. Really enjoyed it. Really, very well done. I think it's a keeper. I would be very happy to read this again. Dip into it surely. A juicier story would be hard to find. The week. Well, Norman, matey, I think you're right. Okay, so that concludes my first review of today. I'm gonna do a quick pause, and then I'm going to get on to my second book. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you find that interesting. Thank you very much. Buenas, hi there. Sun's come out.